What is up, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Danny Cody. This is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining. And before I get started, in case you missed it, I would like to first off give a special shout out to Peaches on your new subscription here. And also, thank you guys for helping me reach 331. And I believe most of that was in part to the many views and likes that came from my short tribute of what today is Joey Styles' birthday. So I put in a short of one of my favorite all-time moments of his was when he cut that promo. So for those of you who haven't checked it out, be sure to check that out. And for those of you who have and gave it over almost 45 likes, thank you guys. But with that being said, let's get started with tonight's review of Friday Night Smackdown from Flair State Country in North Carolina. But first, we're going to start off with the Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly. But before I do that, I got to ask you guys, who said it best? Every Friday night for a year and a half now, or 2 years, we have heard it's fight night every time Sheamus and the Brutes come out. But who says it better? Michael Cole or Pat McAfee? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But tonight, our first match of the evening, we saw Ridge in his strength hoisting up both Wilson and Prince at the same time. We saw 27 beats of the drum and counting from Sheamus before our commercial break. And then we saw Ridge give a belly to belly to, I believe it was Wilson, crashing into Prince, which was kind of funny. We also, however, despite all of those things, we saw, I believe it was Prince taking advantage of Ridge neck problems. No, it is not karma, but Ridge had neck problems, throat problems, and it caught up to him, and Pretty Deadly would get the win tonight. Also, I did not know Rock and Grayson Waller had an encounter on social media. Not up close and personal, I believe, but apparently The Rock and Waller have had some stuff going on social media that I'm not aware of because I don't really follow gossip like that, but let's see what happened. Then we heard that Zelina Vega took on Bailey tonight. Now, I will say this, in that short match tonight, I really enjoyed seeing Zelina spank Bailey like a naughty girl. That was pretty satisfying to watch. Not in a naughty way, but take it however you want. But for me, I just thought it was very entertaining and very fun. Nonetheless, Bailey would end up getting the win. However, Shotzi, who reminds me a lot of Ledger from the band Skillet. Anybody else think that? Is it just me, or does Shotzi remind me of Jen Ledger from Skillet? Just a thought. But anyway, Shotzi showed up on screen and told Bailey, "I'm in control," and began cutting her own hair, much like The Undertaker did in 2012 until Triple H accepted the match. Now, Bailey, you messed up. This is going to be interesting. Then we have Jey Uso's promo, and I have to say that sign that called Jey Uso the People's Champ was funny. I mean, was entertaining. I'm sorry. The funny sign was when a fan said WWE is great. Was the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Tiger there? I'm just saying. I just thought that was very funny. But tonight, Jey Uso said he has great respect for the bloodline, but does not respect Roman after what he did last week. He talked about how it's one thing to have a brother, which I do, but it's another thing to have a twin, which I don't. However, he said it's another type of bond when you have a twin. However, going forward, began to speak. Paul Heyman interrupted and talked about how his family will never forgive him, according to Paul Heyman, and Solo will never forgive him. However, I know there is a YouTuber known as the Demon Diva who will never forgive the Usos. Sorry, something just flew by me. Duh. They say God doesn't make mistakes, but creating insects was one of the big mistakes that God made, in my personal opinion. But in any event, why? But in any event, I hate insects. Moving forward, Paul Heyman and Usos talk it out, and then a brawl incites, and then what happens next was funny. I came up with a funny joke. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Jay kicks a Humpty Dumpty and they call him Paul. But in the event, Paul Heyman is the Humpty Dumpty that had a great fall. Of course, I wish I could have saw Jay hit Humpty Dumpty Paul with a steel chair, but was not to be. However, moving forward, I think that match between Jay and Roman at SummerSlam is going to be a very interesting match. We saw a four-way match between AJ Styles, Santos Escobar, Pete Dunne, aka Butch, and Waller. With Austin Theory on commentary. Now, some of the highlights included Santos doing a sunset flip as AJ Styles and Butch superplexed Waller. As AJ Styles was going for the victory after a flying forearm, it was revealed on screen that Cross attacked the OC, claiming that their rivalry is not over. Maybe interesting because we couldn't get a good match last week because of Waller's injury. However, not Waller, Cross's injury. However, this rivalry continues. Make it good, please. And also, we saw in small news, we saw the Street Profits go into a Lincoln Navigator limo with Bobby Lashley. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about that. I think we have our new recreated Hurt Business. That's exciting to me. Then we saw LA Knight. 5 minutes of the most electric of one of them. It was lit. 5 minutes, the whole place was lit. That's saying something. LA Knight came in, and I must say, yeah, is the new what? You know, in early 2000s, we had Stone Cold and the What chants. By 2012, 10 years later in 2012, we have the Yes chant. Now, another 10 years, 11 years later, we have Yeah from LA Knight. So that's very interesting. And hopefully, in my personal opinion, even though Austin Theory is growing on me personally, I hope that LA Knight eventually becomes the US champion because LA Knight is gold, in my personal opinion. But let's get into this main event, shall we? We opened up the show tonight with Bianca and Charlotte and talking about how Bianca and Charlotte at SummerSlam would make a great match, which it would have. But tonight was not to be because during their main event match, Bayley and Io bought a ticket to ringside, and so did Charlotte Flair. And it didn't take long for Bayley to step out, and Charlotte came to the defense of Bianca, however, inadvertently speared Bianca, causing a disqualification. This would lead to Io to attempt to cash in. And in my personal opinion, I was thinking that Bayley was going to turn on Io. However, before anything could happen, Asuka blew Mist onto Bayley and the show ended. Now we're gonna have a triple threat match at SummerSlam, and if we don't have a triple threat match, it is going to be a fatal four-way match because it's going to involve Bayley. But we don't need Io because she's the Money in the Bank winner. Nonetheless, let me know in the comment section what you thought about tonight's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. That's all the time I have for you today. Happy birthday, Joey Styles, and to former journalists of WWE, now on ESPN, Charlie Arnold. And of course, happy birthday to Bubba Raona Dudley, as I jokingly call him. But until next time, I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and I will see you again with another review on all things wrestling. Now I'm about to go lay the smackdown on this darn insect. See you next time, everybody.